Hey guys, Rory here from Your Golf Travel. As you can see, judging by my rather fetching hat, if I don't say so myself, I'm up at the 150th Open at St Andrews. Today I'm actually playing golf. I'm at Dalmahoy Country Club, just about half an hour outside of Edinburgh. We have a bunch of our clients this year who are coming up to the Open at St Andrews, based at this golf resort. So while we're here, obviously going to show you around a little bit of the East Course. There's two courses here, and we're going to talk about the best James Braid designed golf courses, because the great man himself, who's had such a huge influence on golf around the world really, but obviously particularly here in Scotland and the British Isles, designed the East Course here at Dalmahoy. So we're going to tell you what you might want to look out for if you do choose to come for a Scottish golf break here at Dalmahoy, as well as look at some of his other best golf courses, because I've played a few of them and they're among my favourite courses in the world. There's also a few on the list who I haven't played, and courses which are way up there on my bucket list. So let's get stuck in. Front 9 here on the East Course at Dalmahoy, and the top 5, or my top 5, James Braid golf courses. Right, seeing as it's Open Championship week, I suppose it's only right to kick this off at an Open Championship golf course. And we're going to start with, James Braid has actually had a hand in plenty of these, by the way. I'm going to start with one that's within easy reach of the old course itself. And it's actually a course that, for European Tour fans, or DP World Tour fans these days, it's one that is played in rotation with the old course and the amazing Kings Barnes during the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship. And of course we're talking about the championship course at Carnoustie, or Carnoustie for those who understand its reputation for being one of the most fearsome courses in the world, and certainly on the Open Rota. I have not yet played Carnoustie, I'm ashamed to say, but it's definitely way up on my bucket list. I'm well aware that it's going to beat the living snot out of me in terms of my handicap, but I kind of love heading to courses like that. I'm very good at parking my ego in the car park and just enjoying the golf course for what it is, but how could you not want to play a course where things like Jean van der Velde's collapse happened? You could test yourself against the famous 18th at Carnoustie, and of course Molinari winning the Open there in 2018. Definitely a bucket list golf course for pretty much any golfer in the world, and certainly one of James Braid's finest, and a great way to kick off this list of the top 5 James Braid golf courses. Right, 5th hole here on the East Course at Dalmahoy, and it's flop shot time. Nearly driven the green on this short par 4, about 3 over through the first 4. Good thing is it's super windy and it's actually playing straight into, so should hold the ball up a little bit for me on that shot. Still run out though. Cool, I'll take that in 2 though on a par 4 any day, even though it is almost drivable. Right, can I make a birdie? The greens have been quite quick here so far at Dalmahoy, in great condition, as you'd expect during the week of the Open Championship. Sit down, sit down. Oh no, can I make par is the actual question. Well, it's so left, straight off the putter. That is devastating. Another drop shot on a drivable-ish par 4 where I was pretty close to the green in 2. And I suppose I shouldn't be too disappointed with the fact that I'm about 4 over through 5, because the East Course here at Dalmahoy has hosted the Scottish PGA on numerous occasions, as well as the Solheim Cup back in the day. So proper championship golf on offer here at Dalmahoy. There's another course here called the West Course, which is significantly shorter, so a great mixture, obviously on-site hotel, spa, restaurant, etc. This definitely falls into the mould of golf resort, stay and play style here in Scotland. And the good thing is, it's not just me who's enjoying it, because you guys, Your Golf Travel customers, have rated this place 8.8 out of 10 on the Your Golf Travel website from hundreds and hundreds of reviews. So obviously ticking lots of boxes for lots of golfers, and I'm hoping that the short game kind of joins the party, because that was a seriously disappointing bogey. But yeah, where is that toey hook coming from? So yeah, speaking of the championship nature of this golf course, the East at Dalmahoy, the course off the championship tees can measure nearly 7,400 yards, which makes it one of the longest golf courses in Scotland. We're definitely not flirting with that sort of yardage today. Playing off the whites, still a proper test though. And yeah, definitely need to get the short game coming to the party if I want to start taking advantage of the decent driving so far. But to give you guys an idea of the price point here at Dalmahoy as well, During high season right now, middle of the July Open Championship weekend, we're talking one night, dinner, bed and breakfast, plus 2 rounds of golf for around £160, £170 mark, which I think is pretty fantastic value for money, considering the amazing event that's taking place just over an hour down the road. It'd be rude to come to Scotland and not hit a 2-iron stinger, wouldn't it? Saw plenty of those yesterday at the Open, and they'll certainly work at Dalmahoy. Nice, fast, firm course, so that should be out there about 100 yards short of this short par 4 green number 2. But speaking of the Open Championship, we're going to stick with that theme, moving on to number 2 on the James Braid list, my James Braid list. Remember, this is by no means a definitive ranking of his golf courses, just courses that I've either played or want to play. And we're going to go to Royal Cinque in Kent. Now obviously that course gets overshadowed somewhat by Royal St George's because Royal St George's is still on the Open Championship Rota. But Cinque hosted the Open way back towards the 1950s, I think. Could be totally wrong, could be back in the 30s. Can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I've played it a few times, obviously since then, being an 80s baby. And yeah, it's not the prettiest of links when you think of the likes of like Turnberry, Aberdovey in Wales. We'll come back to that course later, but in terms of the test of golf, the quality, the heritage, the patch of land it's on, it shares kind of the same patch of land as Royal St George's and Prince's Golf Club. So for anyone looking for an Open Championship themed golf tour, Cinque and those 2 other courses are definitely worth chucking onto your to-do list. But yeah, Cinque quality wise, just a bit like St Andrews, it's a traditional 9 out of 9 back kind of layout. And I have to say, the 9 back, or at least the last 7, if the prevailing wind is blowing, it's straight into. And those holes are some of the hardest holes you'll ever play anywhere. So anyone looking for a challenge, Cinque will definitely be right up your alley. But that's certainly one of James Braid's best links courses. And as such, it definitely has to go onto my top 5 James Braid courses list. And I have to say that this approach reminds me of a few holes of the number 3 course on my James Braid list. We'll get to that in a minute. See if I can strike a little pitch shot in there. That's as I can get. And I've flown it the right distance. I still think that's going to go through the back, but I don't think I can play that much better. Right, as expected, I'm not sure where I've pitched that, but I reckon I've pitched that bottom level coming up a step, and I've just run out to the back edge. So it goes to show what those guys will have to deal with just down the road at the Open this week. It is whipping. It was about this level of wind yesterday at the old course. Obviously that course is even faster, even firmer, and obviously those guys have a much broader and highly developed skill set than I do, but I don't think I can play that shot much better than I just played it. Still missed the green. I feel like I should be putting from fairly close on this shot, but hey ho, such is life. Big bounce to the right, got the length right. The line is questionable, to say the least. Now putting for another par. God, the wind does make golf hard, doesn't it? Right, I will make a par at some point on this vlog. I swear I will. I swears it. They got some beastie holes. I'm not sure if this is a 4 or a 5, I'll update in a second, but this has got a good 220 left in. Gorgeous looking hole with the wall running across it. 2-iron, come on, strike it. That is what I'm trying to do, but it's definitely a bit thin, admitting. That could make it though, get through that rough. I'll take the result, even with a terrible strike. Right, must admit, the view in from the 9th fairway, wall running across the fairway, Dalmahoy Hotel looming large in the background, gorgeous old school building. But before we wax lyrical too much about this venue, let's go on to number 3 on my James Braid golf course list. And we're going to go to another venue in Scotland, and Gleneagles Resort. Unbelievable place. The first place I actually ever went just after I joined Your Golf Travel. So talk about kind of popping your cherry in style. There's 3 golf courses on the resort. The PGA Centenary might be the most famous in recent years because it's hosted the Ryder Cup back in 2014. Win for Europe, ole ole ole, etc. But it's definitely not why you would go to Gleneagles. Don't get me wrong, it's an absolutely fantastic golf course, Jack Nicklaus design, but it's the other 2 courses, both designed by James Braid as far as I know, the Kings and the Queens, which is what people flock to this amazing golf resort in Scotland for, because they are just so reflective of the place in Scotland where this is, just on the doorstep of the Highlands, kind of beautiful Scottish heathland golf. And the Kings, I think, would be my favourite out of the 2. A lot of members pick the Queens, mind you, from people I spoke to when I was there, but the Kings was definitely my favourite of the 3. And this is going to be the course that I enter on my James Braid golf course list because it's certainly one of his best. As I said, beautiful heathland course in the rolling hills of Scotland, immaculate condition, as I'm sure you can imagine at a resort like Gleneagles. And just like on the last hole, lots of holes with these kind of elevated greens, which make approach shots super important at this golf course. Probably doesn't suit my game, as we all know. My approach play is arguably my weakest point. The Kings and the Queens, but mainly the Kings in my opinion, definitely warrants a place on my James Braid list. Right, this is a par 5 after all, so chipping for eagle. The greens have been really quick, so this could get away from me if I'm not careful. I'm getting some seriously sideways bounces on some of these chips. I've flown that where I was aiming it, and the slope's going that way, and it's bounced 45 degrees left, so a bit of an unlucky on there, but 2 putts for par. Not a terrible way to close out the front 9 here on the east. Right, the ability to kind of forget unlucky breaks like that is pretty key in golf. I'm not the best at it. Don't know about you guys. My playing partner just off camera just slipped out for an eagle, so it'd be a shame to 3-putt this. Get in. Oy. Oh well, tap in par to close out the front 9. Moving on to number 4 on my James Braid list. And it's also worth mentioning that seeing as it's Open Championship week, seeing as we're here with Your Golf Travel at the Open, just playing a bit of golf today before the event kicks off tomorrow, James Braid won 5 of the bloody things. So not only is he a golf club or golf course designer extraordinaire, the guy was one of the best golfers of all time as well, and won the Open Championship 5 times. Bravo, James, bravo. Right, normal service is resumed, hitting lots of nice drives now and missing the greens. I was striking it lovely with the chips at Prince's though, so yeah, I mean that's good strike, it's just thrown a lot too far. Still, sun's out now. We have had all 4 seasons in one day, but I have to say Dalmahoy, when the sun's out and the wind's kind of gone a little bit, is a very nice place to be playing golf. Right, can I actually hole one of the many 10-foot par putts I've had today? No, not even close. He's found it with a driver. Right, so one thing I've noticed about the East course is, like, that was a nipped sand wedge, like really well hit. Mike, just walking off for a little relief, said it pitched like 6 feet to the right of the hole, and look where it's run out to. So maybe this course is playing a little bit like St Andrews Wood this week. It's just not a lot of receptiveness going on, which is not a complaint. It's just something you kind of have to get used to and try and deal with. A lot of swing on that putt. Sit down now. I'll take that for pace. Right, for any of you still watching this video. I hope you're still watching for the James Braid information rather than to see if I can make a par. I am trying, I promise. Oh yes, come on, finally. Right, just come out of the trees, which the last couple of holes I played through, back out onto the 15th. So much more exposed out of this part of the golf course, which you can probably hear on the mic. So definitely have to keep on your toes when the wind is blowing here at Dalmahoy, because it's going to play so different when you're in amongst those really mature trees, which is a gorgeous section of the course. Definitely my favourite stretch of holes so far, in comparison with when they're out here in the exposed part of the course, down by the halfway hut and to the hotel. Speaking of exposed, I'm going to go back to the links courses and to number 4 on my list, which is without doubt the church course at St Enodoc. Cornwall, England, southwest England, gorgeous, gorgeous golf course. Certainly one of the best links courses in England. I mean, if it was a bit more logistically viable, I do think that course could have hosted an Open Championship at some point. Probably a touch too short these days, but it's in that calibre, it's in that conversation of best links courses in England, so certainly worth a mention on the top 5 James Braid courses list. I filmed there a few years ago, filmed a Christmas special actually with Crossfield, Lockie and James Pickard, where me and Pickard, well, you know, we took down Crossfield and Lockie, which was just a joy to see for everyone involved, as I'm sure you'll agree. But yeah, really fun course, stunning location on the southwest coast of England. And I guess I kind of like that course so much as well, because I played pretty well when we were there, and you could argue that I closed out that Christmas special in style. Right, just coming up the final hole here on the east course at Dalmahoy, and I have to say I really enjoyed this golf course. It's certainly earning an honorary spot on this list. I will select a 5th course as well, because James Braid's just done so many incredible golf courses. It'd be a shame not to mention at least one of the others. But if I just take a look at a list of courses that I'm not going to put on the list, we're talking the likes of Nairn, which is a course I've not yet played, up on the north coast of Scotland, near Royal Dornoch, nearest Castle Stewart as well. So one that you could combine with those 2 epic courses to make a seriously impressive trio of links courses for a Scotland golf tour. That's not making my list, haven't played it. Got Pennard, one of my favourite courses in Wales, I always liken it to a grass-covered moon. Really, really quirky, but the views from that golf course are ridiculous, and it's a super fun course to play. Thorpeness Golf Club, I've heard, is an absolute stunner, kind of Heathland in style. Good place for a stay and play golf break as well. Brora Golf Club, Tenby Golf Club, like you get the picture here, that there's so many. Fairhaven, so many amazing courses that James Braid has laid down for us to enjoy. And that's before I even get to my 5th and final course on my list, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous golf course in North Wales. Can anyone guess what it is? Jump into the comment section, let me know if you can. In the meantime though, just going to finish out here on the east course at Dalmahoy. I've hit the ball quite nicely on the back 9. Certainly haven't played well today, but good enough for me to enjoy it. And despite the weather, the wind's been whipping around, tiny little bit of rain. The setting, the backdrop here on 18, which if I spin the camera around and show you, is super impressive with the Dalmahoy Hotel. The welcome we got from the staff, yeah, Dalmahoy ticks lots of boxes, and I can totally see why lots of our Open Championship 2022 clients have chosen to base themselves here for their explorations to the old course for the 150th Open. Right, there's the green. I thought I'd hit a good drive, but no. Got something in the way, really? Unless... this could go into the starter's hut.
Here it comes. Tell you what, that roll, I really enjoyed that.
If I'd ripped that out of the middle, that could have been on, I reckon. Right, nice par to finish things off here on the East Course at Dalmahoy. Absolutely fantastic course, really loved it from start to finish. But fifth course on my James Braid top 5 list. Gotta be Aberdovey, North Wales. So many golf courses within the easy drive of this course as well to make a North Wales golf tour. We're talking Neffin, Royal St David's, North Wales Golf Club, Conwy, obviously a bit of a drive between some of those, but a lot of quality up in that neck of the woods in Wales. But Aberdovey itself, gorgeous course right on the Welsh coastline, stretching kind of around a curved bay. I think it's a 9 out, 9 back layout, just like the old course at St Andrews, and just like Royal Cinque Ports, which has already been on this list as well. But yeah, in terms of location, quality, variance of holes, yeah, obviously you can get some brutal links weather like you can with any links golf course in North Wales, but that golf course is highly recommended by me, and a fitting way to close out this video on the best James Braid golf courses. If any of you guys want any more information about these golf courses, make sure you jump into the comment section down below, fire away some questions, I'll answer as many as I can, or you can contact Your Golf Travel directly via the call centre or via email. And if any of you are at the Open this week, come and say hello. We're here. Hopefully we're going into the golf tomorrow, but regardless of what we get up to, it's going to be a wicked 4 days of action up at the old course, the 150th Open Championship. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and maybe, just maybe, I'll see you at the Open.